continue to be overrepresented. Recently, we've been seeing more talk about representation in the media, whether it's games, anime, or anime. No matter the medium, you can't escape diversity and inclusion. They want to support inclusion, but even the most left-leaning sources can't hide these numbers because what's actually happening is exclusion. Before we go over this crazy article and the data they don't want you to know, let's take a look at some of the recent developments of representation. For a prime example of when diversity and inclusion goes wrong, which it usually does, look no further than the Latinx incident at Bungie Games, known for developing the Destiny and Halo games. So people from Latin America, you can call them Latinos or Latinas, one for male, one for female, but for some reason, Bungie decided to call them Latinx or Latinx. I don't even want to say that because it sounds racist AF. But hey, don't take it from me. Just look at the community notes posted under their tweet. A funny thing I found was this tweet just before the Latinx thing, and the timing is too coincidental. At Bungie, all employees are encouraged to get involved. And you see all these associations, trans again, plus some other colors, black at Bungie, etc. Then you got this guy going like, why no Hispanic or Latino? Nice. They heard your feedback. Are you happy now? They made one for Latin /O/A/ yeah, I'm not reading all that. Hope you like it. Well, apparently the Latino community did not like it, as we can see from the responses. Of course, rather than listening to the people, you silence them. They had someone making sure that every comment that criticized them was hidden. And that's where you'll find the based Hispanics. I also want to point out that they've been censoring the voices of people on their own forums. They'd rather be called a slur than Latinx. That's how bad it is. My pronouns are wet/back. The thing about having a wet back means that you're probably doing actual work, so you're sweating. Not saying that other people that aren't sweating aren't doing work, but what I'm saying is the people making these diversity and inclusion decisions, yeah, they're not doing any work. They're just sitting in a table in a meeting, and you know they're just gonna be like, oh, we need something for the Latino community. Oh, what did you just say, Karen? I mean Latinx. Yes, you're so brave now. Like, that's definitely what happens. You're just gonna have to trust me, but I know exactly the type of workplace a company like Bungie has. You know how they said all companies are encouraged to get involved? Yeah, that's a load of BS. So imagine it's a Pride Month, right? And they got the Pride Month banquet event, free food and all that. One of your coworkers on another team is going. Sounds like great fun, talking about diversity while enjoying some avocado toast and a glass of Soylent. Now take a look around your team. If you see a predominantly straight, white, Chinese, Indian, Asian males, quit dreaming. You're not going to these events. You got a deadline this Friday. Get back to work, buddy. If your team is full of white, people, oh my god, what are you doing? It's already 11 a.m. Aren't you going to get ready for the Pride gathering at 4 p.m.? Don't tell me you're going to miss it. I heard Karen is going to bring her famous pasta. Oh, you can't eat meat? That's right, climate change. Oh, you're such a silly. Didn't you know? Karen is a vegan. You'll love it. Oh god, shut the fuck up, man. That is just so cringe. Like, bro, you already know that is how it is. Like, just don't, I'm not even want to remind myself of that. Okay, I say this, I'm like mimicking their accent, or at least their fake accent. But reality is, if you look around and you want to look for a great team to work on, and you see these type of people, yeah, you're golden. Good work-life balance, low stress, you're just feeling a little bit down. Oh, don't worry, sweetie, take the day off. Like, amazing people, at least at work. So back on topic, the irony of the whole story is that Bungie actually got sued for discrimination. Yeah, talk about ironic. The representation even goes as far as anime. Check this tweet out. We need more black representation in anime. But of course, we don't want Mr. Popo. So I didn't really see Mr. Popo as racist when I watched Dragon Ball. Now, I don't know about Mr. Popo, but it turns out Dragon Ball actually is racist. Akira Toriyama definitely depicted certain characters a certain way, but this was a long time ago, and it was in Japan, where they don't have the cultural sensitivities of Westerners. In a well-received tweet with over 8,000 likes, the Japanese have absolutely no compelling reason to pander to identity-obsessed outsiders who always make everything about themselves. themselves. Anime is a Japanese medium made for a primarily Japanese audience, and that's the way it should be. Agreed. People will see a green colored character like Piccolo and then want to put race into it. Now, I know in the Black Dragon Ball community, which is quite sizable because of Battle Shonen, people like to say Piccolo is black for fun. But this tweet does certainly have a point with it being from Japan. There's no reason for them to just make characters black just for the sake of doing so. In fact, doing so would seem disingenuous. But of course, the people reacting to this tweet, they're seeing this as an attack, even though it seems perfectly logical. They're bringing out their digital pitchforks. The Nazi, the KKK, the Hitler, yeah, the racist, the whatever. The thing is, there are people literally from all over the world watching Dragon Ball, a large part of that being the Latino community, and no one's really trying to Latino swap Goku. I mean, I'm sure they do, but it never gets this much of a big attention. They never make it this big of a deal. It's only when... Now that's anime made in Japan. What about quote-unquote American anime? Well, you'll have people saying things about Castlevania Nocturne. Castlevania saw us all complaining about the lack of native and black vampires and said, just wait a minute and give us them. Makes all vampires black, protagonist is a guy with a whip. What did they mean by this? Yeah, I don't know about this type of representation. So apparently this Castlevania Nocturne race swapped a character that was originally white called Annette into black. Now people are getting a lot of attention over this, where the creator of the show pretty much just censored people or blocked them and whatnot, and the media, when reacting to this, said that user reviews are pretty much worthless because the critics' reviews were really good. They're all amounting it to racism, but apparently the animation is garbage and they're not acknowledging that as well, and I'm sure the story is lacking as well. But sure, chalk it all up to racism. The word racist has lost all meaning. Just take a look at these looting incidents that happened after this protest. It's always this protest in Philadelphia. The influencer Meatball was arrested, but her lawyer said that the media covered her in a racist way. Only problem is, Meatball herself, being the famous TikToker she is, was the one recording herself stealing. And apparently that's racist. She literally recorded her own crime. And they're calling it racist. 2023. Oh yeah, keep in mind this is a lawyer saying that. We're all screwed. Now back on topic, there's a valid reason that people want to see more of themselves being in the media because of representation. They're called underrepresented minorities, or at least that's what they were called, because nowadays they are overrepresented, but the media doesn't want you to know that. So we had the Bungie incident with the Latinx, whatever you want to call it thing. Yeah, Latinos and Latinas, they're pretty much second-class citizens when it comes to oppression Olympics, as we'll see here. Take a look at this very left-leaning website, The Hollywood Reporter. Racial and gender diversity in theatrical film regresses to 2019 levels. Study. Take in account the types of word they use. Melted away. Regression. Fell to 2019 numbers. Now I'm looking through all of this and I'm not really seeing where these numbers are, despite them talking the big talk. But it turns out when you look further into the article, they're talking about the directors and the budget they're being allocated. But if you actually take a look into the study to find the portrayal of characters via the actors, you'll see a completely different story. If you actually go into the study, which was done by UCLA, well, first of all, you can tell it's already biased because they use the word Latinx everywhere, so you know what type of political bias they have when they use the word Latinx. Now I'm going to scroll down to this part, overall cast diversity. Now you want to make sure to skip past all the graphs that talk about minorities and all that because they're all kind of hiding something. You want to scroll down to the area where it talks about the share of the roles by race. The white share of all theatrical film roles dropped to 63.9% in 2022, down from 69.1% in 2019, thus continuing a downward trend for the group in top theatrical releases. By contrast, black actors, as in earlier years, continue to be overrepresented among all theatrical film roles, while Latinx, multiracial, and Native persons remained underrepresented among all theatrical film roles. Asian and Middle East, North Africa persons reach proportionate representation among all theatrical roles in 2022. Let's get this straight. So whites have been going down continuously over multiple years. Asians and Middle East North African finally reached proportionate levels just last year, and every other minority group has been underrepresented except one. The black actors continue to be overrepresented. Man, I feel bad for the Latinos and Latinas. They are the second largest minority group in the United States, yet they're being underrepresented. This is what ESGs and diversity and inclusion has done to Hollywood. Exclusion. You see, this is a zero-sum game. Not everyone can get an equal share of this pie. And in this case, the one being excluded is pretty much everyone else except one group, at the expense of one group, should I say more clearly. And they want this to happen to anime. If this happens to anime, well, I'm gonna start saying, make anime great again. And even if the roles were equal proportionally to the population, just take a look at what's going on with affirmative action in the United States education system. I was gonna say a bit more, but I'm just gonna leave it at that. See ya.